Hi, my name is Paul Borosky, and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is to show you all how to use my financial projection template for a business plan. Now, my financial projection template, when completed, is going to give you a usable profit and loss statement for the next 24 months, an income statement, a balance sheet, and also it's going to give you an amortization table to use if you have, or if you're going to be taking a loan out and you need to show that information in your business plan. So in order to get that information, we do have to go through a couple steps. The first step is, let me go ahead and show you all how to get to this projection template, how to download it. And then the second step is going to be how to go ahead and input the information in order to complete that template. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into this game and follow this little PowerPoint presentation. All right, so in order to get to the financial projection template, you're going to have to go to my website, which is qualitybusinessplan.com/financial projection template, and then a number 2. The next thing you're going to have to do is mosey on down, just scroll down a little bit to where it says downloadable financial projection template, and make sure you're getting the one that has a 12-month profit and loss statement. Actually, the template that I'm telling you about is actually got a 24-month profit and loss statement. Then it's going to be the income statement for the next 5 years, and you're also going to be able to get your balance sheet for the next 5 years as well. At present, the price is $100. It does change, but in order to download it, you're going to click right here where it says financial projection financial projection template. You're going to click, and then it's going to take you to the link where you can go ahead and purchase and download that document. When you download the financial projection template, then what you're going to do is you're going to open the Excel file, and you're going to see something like this. The first section is going to be the revenue generators. And the dark purple area throughout this throughout the template is where you can change the information. Now, for the first, for the revenue generators, I do start with daily sales. The example here is going to be where it's like this is a hotel, so it's a 1-bedroom hotel, and let's say we've got 10 bedrooms that we can go ahead and rent out for the night, and the price is $150. And this area right here, the percent sales, that's your variable cost. So let's say we've got a 15% variable cost for each hotel room. So once we enter this information, the item that's going to be sold, the variable cost, percent of sales, the number of sales we estimated per day, and then we're also going to have the price right here. And once we do that, it's going to give us what our costs are. Our variable cost is in dollars. It's going to then give us our profits, and then the total revenues we can expect from that line item. So we're going to go ahead and, just for this example, we're going to go ahead and do this a couple of different times. And we're going to say 15% for each one. Our variable cost for each room is 15%. We've got one suite. It's going to be leased out per night for $250. So once we have these, once we have in the section right here, the item being sold, our variable cost, the number of items being sold per day, and then our prices, then our calculations are done for us over here. And at the end of the day right here, this shows that we've got total revenues of $2,100. We've got a total variable cost of $315, and then we've got the gross profits of $1,785. Now, this information right here, this is just summed up right at the bottom with weekly sales, monthly sales, and annual sales. These are not the numbers that are going to be used in the income statement, because each month we're going to be growing our revenues at a specific growth rate I'll show you where you can put that information in just a minute. But this gives you a good idea what your annual sales are going to be. So now let's say we're not using these bottom 2 sections. So in order to get rid of those, we're going to go ahead and come right here, click on the 9, and we're going to highlight this information, and we're going to right click, and then we're going to click on hide, and that information is now out of our view. In this section right here, which is operating per days, this is how many days a week our hotel or your business is going to be operating. So for example, if your business is going to be operating for 5 days, then we put in the 5, and all of your financial information is now updated based on all of the changes that we're making right here. So we're going to keep this at 7. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and complete our labor. The first column right here is going to be the salary that the executive team is going to draw. So let's say our executive team is going to make $5,000 a month. So we'll change that number right here to 5,000. And then for the manager, we've got one manager. Let's say they're going to make $25 an hour. And then we can go ahead and continue to list employees. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to call them employees. We're going to say we're going to have 10. Average rate of pay is going to be $18 an hour. Excuse me. The next section is going to be our startup cost. So let's say we're going to be dropping $500,000 in equity. Missing a zero here. So you're going to put, well, whatever your equity investment, you're going to put it there. And then the loan amount, let's say we're going to be taking out a $500,000 loan. We're going to put our $500,000 right here. And then we're going to start getting into some of our costs. Let's say our build-out cost is going to be $750,000. And our working capital, which is the amount of money we need in our checking account once business starts operations, we're going to say our working capital is going to be $50,000. Now this next section right here, for the equipment, we're going to go ahead and list, not list, but just categorize the different equipment that we're going to have in our business. So for example, we're going to be doing our own lawn care, so we're going to have lawn equipment. And then we're also going to have restaurant equipment too, because we're going to have a restaurant. So we're going to put in our restaurant equipment, $150,000. Nope, one too many zeros. And then let's say our lawn equipment is going to be, I don't know, it's going to be $45,000. I keep putting in extra zeros. And then let's say our equipment in general is going to be $50,000. All right, so that's going to be our equipment right there. This section right here, when we put in the equipment section, it's going to go into our depreciation section right here for the short-term depreciation. Any money that we go ahead and put in right here for the initial build-out is going to be depreciated over the long term. So we can see in this information here, our initial build-out, $750,000. In the depreciation tab, it goes to investment of $750,000 and it depreciates it based on some of the research that I've done. You can go ahead and change these the amortization schedule if you like. Just keep in mind the percentages do change based on the category. And then this section right here, I just use a general 5 years MACRS for general use of the equipment, $245,000. And you can see the equipment section here is $245,000. The rest of the sections down here, you can go ahead and use those for whatever you like. It could be your inventory. It can go ahead and it could be whatever other startup costs you're going to have. So we're going to go ahead and say that we've got we've got our investments here. We've got $1 million here invested. So we want to go ahead and have this as $1 million. We need to drop $45,000 somewhere. So let's say our restaurant equipment is $105,000. All right. So what we want to make sure is that the total money invested right here, this $1 million, equals the equity investment, which is $500,000, and the loan amount, which is $500,000. So we want to total those together, and we want to make sure that it comes out to $1 million. So this what this startup cost section is going to be. You're going to put your equipment here, your build out, and your loan information, and your equity investments here. And these other sections down here in the purple, you can use it, like I said, for inventory. You can use it for whatever's training. And if you got to buy a training program, if you're going to do your office equipment, you can put it there. Miscellaneous licenses, advertising, you can put in here as well. Whatever money you're going to spend for your startup costs, use it accordingly here. The next section is going to be our monthly fixed cost. So in the monthly fixed cost, you're going to go ahead and enter in whatever your rent or your lease is going to be. Let's say our lease is going to be $10,000 here, and then utilities is going to be $1,500. Office expense might be $2,500, and then insurance might be $750. Accounting might be $1,000. Advertising might be $10,000. Whatever it may be, and then other It's 500. So as you're entering that information here for the monthly fixed cost, not only does it go into your profit and loss statements and your income statement and your balance sheet, but it also updates this graph here as well. This next section right here is going to be your miscellaneous information for tax rate. So whatever you think your tax rate is going to be, just put it right here and it'll update the spreadsheet accordingly. And then these are your growth rates. These are just standard growth rates. I like these growth rates because these are typical for most industries, most startups, but feel free to go ahead and change whatever growth rates you want. Please understand this is a basic financial model that may be used for a multitude of different industries. So it doesn't give you a lot of flexibility, but it's going to give you a good idea of what the various costs are going to be and what your various revenues are going to be. So here's your growth rates. Change them if you like, keep them as they are if you want. It's up to you. The final information section here is going to be right here is your loan amount. So for, again, up here we mentioned that we have a $500,000 loan. Well, it's going to immediately bring it down right here. And right here, we can go ahead and change our interest rates and our term, and the payments will be changed accordingly. So once we make the changes to this one page, the only changes we're going to make is on the information page. We change this information right here, and what's going to happen is all that information is going to roll into our profit and loss statement for year one. It's broken into quarters. So for this example right here, we've got month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4, month 5, month 6. So this is our first year profit and loss. And at the end, it gives us a summary based on the quarters and then the annual profit and loss as well. We then go to our profit and loss for year 2. And this, again, it breaks into quarters, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. It gives you your revenues, your cost of goods, your expenses, your earnings before interest and taxes, your interest expense, your EBIT, your earnings before taxes, the amount of taxes you're going to pay, and your net income for each month. And then it also plays the same game where it also totals it right here as well. Finally, what we're going to have here, actually, I don't like this because it's giving us a negative number. So let's go ahead and bump up to 24 and 3. So what we've done here is I'm just changing the number of sales. So instead of instead of selling 20 rooms a night, 10 rooms a night, we're going to sell 20 rooms a night. Anytime you change all this information, your financials immediately change. So we go over here to our profit and loss, our income statement tab. And on this tab right here, it's going to give us our annual revenues. It's going to give us our annual cost of goods. It's going to give, again, our expenses, our total expenses, and so on, all the way down to the net profits. And anytime we change the information on this information page, our profit and loss statement updates, our profit and loss year 2 updates, our income statement updates, and our balance sheet will update. So this balance sheet is, we've got our assets up top and our liabilities downstairs. Also, this is our information for our loan. So if we plug in the loan of $500,000 at interest rate of 6% for 30 years, the payment is going to give us a payment of approximately $3,000, and then it's going to give us an amortization schedule for that number of years. All right, and then you're going to have your depreciation schedule. This is going to be your investment, and this is going to be building improvements. It's going to be your build out. So the biggest takeaway is going to be you can change everything in the dark blue colors, and as you change this information, it's immediately going to roll into your profit and loss statement, year 1, year 2, your income statement, and your balance sheet. So it's a great tool not only for a business to include in your business plan for your financials, but it's also a fantastic tool to use in operations for benchmarking and such. So hopefully this information is helpful and you got a real good insight on how to use my financial template. So please mosey on over to my website and pick one up. And like I said, so just pick one up and have at it and use this video as a tutorial. And I think y'all are going to be on your way to having a really sound financial projections. All right, thank you very much.